Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Ranking Coldplay Song series for numbers 70 through 61. We're getting into some tougher decisions for two different reasons. We're just like a brief overview of this 10. I know I'm going to be a lot of times be like, I really like this song. And I'm past the phase, I think, where I'm nitpicking. Um, Sometimes I'll be nitpicking, obviously, but like there's a lot of these songs that I don't have much nit to nitpick. It's just that like this section from like the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, it's just like these are really good Coldplay songs. They're just not gonna push over to that next level. So that's where we're at now. Let's go ahead and get into number 70 though. My Universe. And it's a good song. It's grown on me from when it first came out. I was like, this is just way too poppy. You have BTS here. I probably should have put featuring BTS on here, but whatever, it's fine. Um, it's a good song. It's a good song. I like the guitar in it a lot. It's just a little, it's to me, the reason why it would be at 70 and not like 60 or 50 or something like that is it's a little too cheesy. Um, there's a lot of times where Coldplay's written a lot of love songs, a lot of positive love songs, and they've just been better metaphors and better comparisons. You're right. Just saying you're everything to me, so you're my universe is like a little cheesy and kind of an obvious connection to make for a song. It fits in thematically with the album, obviously, and so there's a lot that I like about it. I've already mentioned the guitar tone, and this whole album is really, really, really good, in my opinion. And it does feel like a Coldplay song. Like sometimes there's some songs they've done that I'm like, I'm not sure how much this feels like Coldplay, but that's fine. This one does. It just, for whatever reason, doesn't go higher than this. Still really enjoy it. Good song. Doesn't even bother me that BTS is on it. I don't even mind hearing, Korean instead of hearing English. Like it's fine. It's just like, to me, the issues with the song are more just like the overall kind of more corny lyrics for a group that is, older than me in terms of the individual's ages, and not BTS, but Coldplay. So it just feels like this weird, like this should have been written by a 20 something year old, not a 40 something year old. Um, and I'm also not the age that like most BTS fans would be, so I don't have anything against them at all. It just feels like more of a BTS song lyrically in a Coldplay song musically, and there's a little bit of dissonance there for me, and so I just obviously I prefer Coldplay to BTS. So my universe is at 70. For 69, we have White Shadows, and I really like this song. I do. It's a little over long, um, and like love the guitar tone. I'm gonna say that a lot. There's a bunch of songs in here that I'm like, I love this guitar tone, but everything else is like this is okay. I enjoy it. I like it. For this one here especially, the my favorite part of it is the very end, where everything kind of cuts out and it just goes to the organ. And when I actually noticed, I meant to go back and double check it, but like the organ is actually there. Either the organ or the synth. I think it's the synth actually because it's like a synth and an organ combo is what I'm hearing at least. I could be wrong. When everything drops out at the very end of the song, it's like 4.5 minutes in, and those last like 45 seconds, I just wish there was more there, and I wish it started a little sooner with a cut, and you could even build the song back up. And there's songs that you'll see much, much higher that do this really well, where they don't spend 4.5 minutes getting to the dropout, where everything just like, kind of collapses. Um, and then they build back up to the chorus four more time. And this one doesn't do that. It just ends on the low note, the low like moment, which is fine. I just I think I prefer that structure better than this song's structure. And it's kind of like weird for my absolute favorite part of the song by a long shot to be like the last 45 seconds to end the song. But I got sidetracked there. I when I was talking about. So 4.5 minutes in, everything drops except for a synth and an organ. And if you don't listen very carefully, it sounds like those things come in when everything else fades out, and it's actually not true. Either both of them, the organ and the synth, or just at least one of them, is throughout most of the song. It's just kind of in a little quiet. It's not quieter. It's just like everything else is coming in louder over it, so you can't really hear it. And then once it hits that 4.5 minute mark when everything drops out, the I believe it's a synth. I need to double check it. But haven't, it didn't obviously. So when everything drops out, that synth can kind of cut through and it seems louder, but it's just that it's isolated. But whole thing at the end there, and it's just a good song. It's kind of part of my problem with some of the X and Y songs is they're kind of samey. There's several songs in here that I'm like, is this White Shadows or is this certain song? I don't want to name too many of them because they could be coming up soon, or maybe if they've come in the past, there's a couple of them that I don't remember exactly. It's been a week and a half since I've recorded any of these because I started back to school teaching this last week. Well, the week before really, but it was a half week. So this is my first full week back when I'm recording this, and so I haven't recorded in a little while, so I don't remember which of the songs were in the last one. But like Square One was not Square One, sorry. This is White Shadows and X and Y was on the last episode. That's one that like there's three or four songs that and some of them are coming up. But there's three or four songs where you're like, is this one or is it that one or is it this one? They don't really they kind of all kind of come together in terms of like sound. So that's to me a little bit of a detraction, but still a very good song and I really enjoy it. Just the vibe of it fits the album really, really well. For 68 though, we're gonna go to Guns. And for this song, my issue with it is that it's under 2 minutes. It's a minute 54. It's just too short. Like I love the acoustic guitar style in here, and I like we've had other songs in the past. Um, People of the Pride, right? We started off last episode with People of the Pride, and I said, oh, if I didn't say, I meant to say, I don't. Again, it's been a while, so I don't remember. Um, when you just have a random cuss word in a song, especially the F word, it's like, okay, why was that there? What was the point of that? If that song had been trying to promote some bigger message and had used the aggression of a cuss word effectively, maybe I would be less like confused by that. This song does have the F word several times, not several times, but like two or three times. I think it's just two times, but it is done really specifically and intentionally, and it's to drive home this point and the idea of the song. And so I think because of the fact that it is used with a purpose, whether or not you agree with the message or not, I think it's done with a purpose, and therefore I'm like, okay, like it's meant to express the frustration and the anger at the lack of action from different government issues, different things that have happened. Uh, talking about like this song's called Guns, so it's not like it's super veiled. So it's not like they're like trying to hide what the message is, right? So when they're doing that, if they're gonna kind of lean into the frustration that they're feeling when they're writing that song, I'm like, you feel this way, and so instead of being like kind of veiled and secretive, you're just like outright, like, here's my message. This is how I feel. I'm frustrated. Here's a song to convey my emotion. That to me is a much more effective way to do that. Now, I don't think this is going to convince anybody. Like, if you're super pro gun, I don't think you're going to be like, oh, this is the song that made me, realize that I'm not as pro gun as I was or whatever. Like, because it's so like aggressive because it's conveying that really strong frustration. But if you already are, then you're just kind of like gonna be like more like you feel like heard, I guess, or feel like someone else is agreeing with you. I don't know, but um, the acoustic stuff in it really cool and really cool use of like a different style. Usually when they do acoustic stuff, it's a little bit more mellow, a little more chill. I think of like Parachutes and some other songs where they might finger pick some stuff, just more arpeggioed chords and stuff. And this is like, no, we're just gonna like really hard strum these chords and like be in your face, which is like again the point of the song. So really effective. It's just really short. It's like it feels like it needs a little bit more. And so it's like I'm always left with like, oh, it's already over. Like it feels like it was like a half a song. So that's kind of my nitpick, I guess, is that it's a little bit too short. For 67 though, let's get into Till Kingdom Come. Really pretty song. I really like it. Again, talking about more acoustic and like it's one of those in a whole different tuning, I believe. And I just it's one of those songs I've talked about before in these videos, this video series, where it kind of just stays at this like average level in terms of the intensity and the volume, and it doesn't like go down really quiet and get real like moody like some of the Parachutes songs do, or even some of the stuff from Ghost Stories that I don't always love, but at least it's intentional in terms of like we're trying really hard to be not darker in terms of content, but darker in terms of sound. Um, and like quiet and then build up or something like that. This is one of those that just kind of stays here. And so those songs, to me, I can enjoy them and I like them, but I'm never gonna like love them. There's a song probably coming up in the next episode or two that many people I think really love, and I really love parts about it and I love listening to it, but at the end of the song, I'm like, okay, this has been the same vibe, the same music, the same like melody, the same everything for the whole 4.5 minutes or whatever. And this is the same kind of thing. It's about 4.5 minutes and it's just kind of like here. Even when the chorus kind of swells, it's a slight swell. It's really not coming in super strong. And even that doesn't happen until um a minute and a half into the song. Yeah, it's a minute 40 and the organ kind of it sounds like an organ kind of comes in underneath and like helps push, but everything else stays the same. Chris's voice is staying the same, and everything else behind it is still at that like kind of like like it's just not like it's not like even like a cozy like a chill. It's just like it's not like high or low. It's that's why I'm kind of like where I don't know. I wish it would like, build to something and really have some big crescendo or some big powerful moment, especially because I've seen them do that. If this was kind of what they were, then I'm like, yeah, okay, this is what they are. And if you don't, it's kind of like, wanting the Civil Wars or some band like that. It's like kind of in the same pocket a lot to do something different. It's like, well, this is what they always do. But I know Coldplay can do what I'm asking them to do, so I want them to do it more often, especially with songs like this where I'm like, there's an opportunity here, right? So, good song though, and I have it fairly highly. We're 40 songs in, right? So 107 where we started. So, definitely a lot worse songs in their repertoire. So, 66 might surprise some people because this is probably the most popular song that I've ranked so far. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back through and look at all of them, but this is probably the most popular song that I've ranked so far. And there are things that I just love about this song. Obviously, like most people, that it's part of why it gained popularity. But my issue with it is that occasionally, when it really gets into the chorus, Chris's voice is on that breaking point of where he is like almost to the falsetto, but is not, and it hits this like edge that is not always pleasant to me. And it's like one of the very few times where I would even like remotely be like, Chris's voice is a little. I was like, I think he's the greatest frontman of the modern era. I think he's one of the best singers and frontman of all time. I think he's underrated as a singer and as a musician and as a vocalist and as a songwriter and all these things. I think he's incredible. But um, when they do that, when you get to that spot of the song, I'm always kind of like, ooh, it's just like, I wish it was like, I don't know if you bump the song up a half or a half step or a step. I don't to get him to let him go into the falsetto more. I don't know if it's because he was younger, and maybe he could do it better now or do it differently now. I don't know. Um, it's just like, and it's also it's another one of those songs, just like "Till Kingdom Come," where it just kind of like is in this comfortable pocket. It does build to more, which I appreciate, but it's not until what, like 2.5 minutes in, maybe more than that. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm trying to go through the song on Spotify. Sorry, Dead Air is not really great. Yeah, it's about a little over 2 minutes, but when he goes into that. Yeah, I just found the spot. So the second chorus, when he goes into the one that I wanted to find and just drags find out, and then he does it again with anyone who tried to deny you must be out of their minds and drags minds out. Sometimes it doesn't even bother me at all. And other times I'm like, I just wish it was a little bit like go a little higher with it. Just go up to the falsetto or something. I don't know. It's just on that weird edge. And so this is where it ended up falling for me. This is probably going to be one of the more controversial takes so far, but I think it's a really good song. in theory. And also the music, it does kind of like I wish it had like a guitar solo or something. I don't know, like the guitar is very like Telecaster sounding, which Will is playing Telecaster, but it's like leans into the kind of the country sound of the Telly, which they don't usually do. And I don't mind it here, but I wish it would like you can accent that with like a little Telly like country style solo. Like I don't know, you could be a little bit more there. It's kind of nitpicky maybe, but like it's bothered me off and on in the past. So that's what it's earned for me right now is 66. 65 is Trouble. And this is also a pretty popular song, especially when it first came out. But I mean, it wasn't top three or four from the album, but it was popular enough to have like a music video. Um, and I like it. I I think it's I think it's better than Green Eyes. Obviously, I ranked it higher. Um, but it is again kind of just in this little pocket. Doesn't really do a whole lot. I think the lyrics are a lot smarter and a lot more creative than a lot of the songs in this area, especially like My Universe and even Green Eyes. Trouble, or it's not just Trouble, but Parachutes, I think is a very strong album lyrically. Um, and this one does build up is the thing. So I think it's like the I think it's the first chorus. Um, well, yeah, the first chorus, the electric guitar comes in good and strong and really builds up to something. Um, but it feels like it's a little bit over long. It's like 4.5 minutes for what it is, and it just kind of sits in this little mellow pocket. And like, yeah, this is solid. But there's a lot better songs of this vibe to me on this album, especially, but even other albums. There's songs that have a similar feel, that have a similar like setup of a acoustic driven, piano driven song with like the electric used as more filling in the cracks and a little bit of lead lines and melody lines here and there, and using it as more dynamic to bring in the dynamics the way that you might use like a synth or an organ. Um, and there's a lot of songs that they do that are like this, especially on Parachutes, and I think they're just better ones. It's part of why it fell here at 65. Okay, so I did not even notice this until I was getting ready for this podcast to record this. Going from Trouble to Trouble in Town, and it is a song that I actually really like. I like much more than 64. There's a couple of issues that I have with it though. Like at the beginning of it, I really love. Um, and there's my two problems. One, um, part of why I'm a big fan of it is because of the I think it's the iHeartRadio Music Festival. They did a version of it that was during COVID because this came out in 2019. They did their 2020 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Coldplay did a couple of songs, and whoever was a part of that, I don't even know who all was a part of that, but whoever was a part of that, they did all their stuff on YouTube because it was during COVID, and they did a version of this song, and it was significantly better, in my opinion, than the original, and that's kind of where I fell in love with the song. And so I'm like, well, do I rank it based off of that, or do I rank it based off of what's on the album? And so I ultimately was like, well, I have to go with what's on the album, and I have to go with what's on the album without any knowledge, acting as if I don't know that other song exists. And because even with that one existing, it like actually makes me like this one more in some ways, but also less in some ways because it doesn't do some of the things that they do in that live. It's not even live because they're all in like their homes, but that more of it's just a different setup, a different style. And so the first like minute and a half of this song, 2 minutes maybe even, I'm not sure I would change anything. Um, yeah, about 2 minutes, and then the last chorus before they bring in the audio of the police officer and the whoever's gotten pulled over. That part is, in my opinion, unneeded for the message to be delivered. I think the title and some of the lyrics in the beginning, there's trouble in town because they cut my brother down. My sister can't wear a crown. And then later on, blood on the beat. Um, and then the law of the jungle or the law of the street. There's blood on the beat. Um, they hung my brother Brown. Their system just keeps you down. Like the lyrics get you the message. Um, I get no shelter, I get no peace, I just get more police. Like, okay, you're giving the message, like you're doing it. I don't need the the actual like, and I'm also assuming it's staged. If it wasn't staged, it might be more powerful, but I believe it's staged. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, someone please tell me. I didn't look this up. I can do it right now though. But it feels staged. And where does the audio from Trouble in Town come from? Um, it feels staged, and there's a couple of cuss words in there, which like ultimately I'm not like, oh, it's this huge problem with cussing in music. I'm like, it's whatever, but Coldplay generally doesn't cuss for the vast majority of their songs. There's no cussing in them. And so this song, so like especially if I'm like, oh, Ezra's a big fan of Coldplay, we'll listen to a lot of their songs with him, and he likes them a lot, and it's something that we can listen to as a family and feel good about and feel fine about. And so do obviously have to skip some songs and just not choose some songs that like there's a couple of songs that use like alcohol or drugs as like a metaphor, right? Think of like Him for the Weekend or there's other ones too, not on top of my head right now, that we skip just so that like he's not singing this and someone hears it out of context and like doesn't understand. He's not old enough obviously to understand what that means, what a metaphor is, and he doesn't understand what all that stuff is. So I have to skip some stuff. And I don't mind doing that, but like this is a nice chill song that like I wouldn't have a problem with him listening to if it wasn't for the language in it. And so it feels a little unnecessary when this clip is not working for the theme and the message of the song. I mean, it is working for it, but I don't think it's needed for the message to be delivered in the appropriate manner. So it's like you're overselling it almost, um, and just stands out. It doesn't like see to me it doesn't fit in. And to me, the even bigger problem is the live, not live, but the iHeartRadio YouTube version. If you haven't heard that version of this song, go on YouTube, iHeartRadio Music Festival, Trouble in Town, Coldplay. Listen to that version. Because they don't have this police clip in there, they have instead just the rest of the music and stuff brought up to the front, specifically Johnny's guitar solo, and it's a really good solo. I mean, obviously, like they don't do a whole lot of like crazy guitar solos. Probably Adventure of a Lifetime is like the most impressive riff that they have, but it suits the song really well, and I love it. And if it was that version on the album, this song would be much higher. Um, so it's like it to me it takes away from the music of the song, and it's not needed for the message of the song. Um, so it's like why? I mean, I get why it's there. Trust me. Um, but I don't know that I don't think it's needed, and I don't know that it's like actually really working the way that you think it is. So I'm looking for a police clip. Okay, maybe it is real. I found the audio. Maybe it's real. Okay. Yes, I think it's real. It's from Philadelphia. It's from 2013. Okay, so it's a real clip. So that makes to me and it's not even someone getting pulled over. It's a cop coming up and just talking to someone who's walking on the street. So that to me that makes it better that it's something real. It wasn't like they just like forced some like because it's be pretty cheesy if there's like a staged thing. And part of why I thought it was staged is because I think that they like maybe like in my head they had like on the oh that's what it is. I think it's the actual YouTube video. So the music video I think on YouTube. Um, has like people in animal costumes because they're talking about the jungle the and like so like I think they have on the music video they have like people in animal costumes and so I thought that maybe it was just like staged specifically for this music video because they acted out as a part of the music video and there's like a guy in like a leopard costume and like all this stuff and I'm like okay now you're going doing too much and at this point I'm doing too much talking about the song for too long but the the part of the song where you like have I think it might even actually be a totally separate audio clip in the trouble in the music video version. I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. But just wanted to express that. So like I think it has the potential to be like a really great song, a top 25, 30 song on their list. And I think just like adding that audio clip just like to me takes away from the song. So 64, let's move on. 63 is going to be a message. Again, really like the guitar tone in this album. I like their guitar tone in basically all of it, but it's it it's to me it does build, but it stays really low for too long. It starts off really I do like that it does build, not just like build from low to high, but it starts off with pretty much just acoustic guitar and Chris, and then it builds from there, and then it builds from there. So I like that. But again, it's kind of cheesy. Like my song is Love, and like I get it, it's a good message, like especially in 2025, it's a good message. Um, but it is to me also the message is kind of confusing because certain things about it make me think, is it a song about how he believes that we should all love one another and he has this love for humanity, or is it a specific person love song? Because certain lyrics seem like it could be applied to all, and certain lyrics are very specific. I'm on fire for you. Clearly, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be on your own. Um, you're the target that I'm aiming at. Like those things are more pointed, more specific. But other parts of it, my song is love to the loveless shown. Like I want to show people love that maybe aren't getting the love that they should as a human being. Um, but so I'm like, I don't know. It's a little cheesy. Honestly, like this could be even maybe a spot or two lower. I just talked about Trouble in Town for like 12 minutes. I don't know. I'm not sure, but uh, it's at least like has a message that I feel like is like, okay, I understand what you're getting at here. Like this is just like sort of cheesy love song that has some positives to it, obviously. Um, and it's well written song in terms of like the non-lyric side of it. The lyrics are just kind of cheesy to me. But I still enjoy them. Like it's still Coldplay, and I'm still gonna enjoy it. But I'm gonna, if I have to rank all these songs, I have to be somewhat critical. So, okay, 62 is Daddy from Everyday Life. I'm not sure if I've been saying what album they're all from, but you can see in the video if you're watching the video, obviously. So, and this song would be maybe not significantly lower. I don't really know. I'm sure it would be lower if not for the fact that like the message is very like it resonates with me, and there's a lot about it that I do connect to, and so because of that, I can't know how much of my feelings towards this song are baked into my personal history or just me thinking this is a good song. So if you don't really like this song, I would understand, but it is so sad musically, and I think it's intentionally a little cheesy. Like it's trying to sound childish, and it does it in an effective way given the message of the song. And so that's what I'm like versus a message or other like My Universe, where it's like your message is just like to sing a love song to some girl or some guy or some whatever, like depending on whatever. But Chris is straight, so I'm assuming that his inspiration if he's writing these songs is coming from, some feelings of love towards a woman, right? So if you're doing that and being cheesy just because you're being cheesy, it's kind of who you are. That's fine, but I'm gonna be a little critical of it, obviously, if it's justified. Um, and there are certain songs that they write that are cheesy, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I love this song. Certain songs you're like, you haven't seen me rank yet. That you're like, well, that's also kind of cheesy. I'm like, well, for X, Y, and Z reason, I just love it more than these other songs. But this song, the childlike lyrics, I think, are obviously very appropriate for a song singing about um an absent father, and like it is heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching, and there's so much about it that is just absolutely beautiful. And even just from the fact that, like, I'm sure I mentioned it before, but when a singer does certain things with their voice to accent their emotion, I think it's so effective and so powerful. I mean, he does this thing where it sounds like he's like singing, um, like he's singing like he's further back from the mic, and he's singing very soft. He's hitting these falsetto notes in a very soft voice, and it just makes him sound more sad. And it is, man, it's really, really good, and it builds. it's a long stretch to the build. Um, but I think it's about 3 minutes. But when that guitar chord comes in and swells, um, it works. So I think it's about it might even be 4 minutes. I'm trying to find it where it's out on Spotify. Um, and I just think it to me, yeah, the acoustic comes in at about 345, 350. Um, so when that comes in, it works really well, and he kind of vocalizes a little bit. To me, it just very well encapsulates the complicated emotions behind parental relationships, and when those can have strains or those can have difficulties, and you don't understand as a kid or a teenager, you don't know what's going on, and you just have these emotions and don't know what to do with them, and don't know how to express them, and don't know how to say anything. Um, and it's, I mean, it's tough, but it's so beautiful and so good. And I think that like because it's just so simple and it does what it wants to do super well, but it is very, very simple, obviously. Because of that, it falls lower. But it's a very effective song. It's a very well written song in my opinion. Um, and it's beautiful. Okay, one more song for the episode. 61 is Fun. See there, I put featuring Tove Lo there. I don't know why I didn't want to credit BTS but yeah, BTS, but I did credit Tove Lo. So, this song is really good. Um, I really like it. What's funny is going into this, I was not sure which one I liked more, Amazing Day or Fun, and I ended up ranking Fun significantly higher, like 10 or so higher. Let me see, 20 higher, exactly 20 spots higher. So they're back to back on the album in terms of my ranking of the album, but they are 20th apart here. I just think I've talked about some of the sadder love songs, some of the love songs that are like just heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, you're like just so sad or whatever. Um, and this is one that is, to me, very unique to come across it as like melancholy and somewhat bittersweet, but like bittersweet and like there's a lot of good stuff. We're breaking up, but there's a lot of good stuff like that was a part of a relationship. Like the vast majority of breakup songs are like either super sad or super angry. It's like those are the two kinds that you get most of the time. And this one is just like neither. And I love that about it. And I love the vocalizations in the pre-chorus. I'm not going to do it, but the first one is just him, and then he does it with Tove Lo a couple times, and they do it a lot in the middle of the chorus where they like drag it, do like vocalizations at the ends of lines, and I'm not going to try to replicate it because I'm not a good enough singer to do that. I'm not even close. So, but they're like really fun to sing along with, um, and it really quickly builds, and does cut back down. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I've been asking for. Uh, it starts off pretty strong. This is the thing too is some of these songs I've been saying they kind of start here and stay here. This song starts a little bit higher and builds and then does drop back out and then comes back in really strong. And that's my favorite part of the song is that bridge where it's saying we were always because you and me we were always meant to be, right? So because it comes in like punches through strong with the guitar hitting those little uh electric notes so that have the reverb on it and everything, and then it just all cuts out and it's just Chris and the acoustic, and it's Chris in the acoustic with his voice like kind of warped a little bit. Like I don't know how to do it. It's like sounds like it's like a little like just kind of a filter on it, something like that. Like it makes it from like punching all the way through the mix, and so it like just really puts this like almost like it's pushing it down and like deafening it a little bit, not 100%, but like just pushing it down for one time through, and then it lifts it off again, and it's like we're here we are back in the clouds again with the end of this song, and so I really like that about it. It is really good song. It's just that Coldplay has a lot of really great songs. It's a really good song. They have a lot of really great songs. So I think that's where we will leave it with more really great songs, really good songs coming up, and not quite great yet, but we'll get there eventually. Look forward to 60s and all of that coming up. Let me know also, like I've been saying, if there is a band or an artist or whatever that you would like to see me go through and rank all their songs. Um, leave it in the comments. No promises, but I would like this is a fun thing for me to do, talk about songs and to rank songs. So let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about these 10 songs. Was I too high or too low on some of these? Let me know what you think. I'm sure a couple of these might be somewhat controversial. So give me your thoughts, and otherwise, just see you next week.